the Batman story?
Okay, so I'm from originally I grew up in California. I was born there.
What part?
Montclair.
Montclair. How far is that from? What major city is the closest to there?
Like Sacramento, I think.
Oh, okay. So North California. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And was it as woke back then, obviously, as it is now? Probably not.
It was pretty bad.
It was bad even back then?
Yeah, even when I was growing up, yeah.
Damn.
Feminism's the air that you breathe. It's the sea that we swim in. It's the air that we breathe. It's everywhere, and it's indoctrinating, and there is no escaping it. All of us in this room are indoctrinated by it, whether we know it or not, and our forefathers would have laughed at us. They would have laughed at us. Even if you think that you're awesome and, man, I got it figured out and I have shrugged off my indoctrination, you're wrong. Yeah. It's so hard to get away from it. It's indoctrinated the entire West is basically swallowed by it.
Yeah, and even the Middle East is starting to switch up with it as well, man. I mean,
I got a bunch of guys from, all over the place. Iran sending me messages. Even Iran, like, man, like this is out of control over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's out of control there.
Yeah. That's how you know. It's even when we were in Colombia not too long ago, like girls were saying like some feminist rhetoric. So
yeah, back in the day, Colombia was a safe haven. It was just like feminine women. Yeah, go there, have fun, enjoy life.
Yeah.
But now it's just like almost like America.
Yeah.
It's crazy how they think. The
changed
mindset.
a lot just over the past 10 years. I think the Western infiltration of all the guys going there, right, to simp and pay for box and stuff like that, inadvertently brought the very thing they ran from the United States for.
It was a well-kept
feminism.
secret until they brought people there and it messed it up. So
yeah. All right. So sorry. So you grew up in Montclair, California. Like what is
Took your household?
How old were you like as a kid? Like what decade were you there as a kid? Roughly.
80s, 90s.
80s
and early 90s.
Okay. 80s, early 90s. And then did you go to college or?
No. I'm a robotics mechanic by trade.
Okay.
I apprenticed for that, but essentially I grew up in the California area for most of my youth, and then moved from there to Nevada.
Okay.
And then from
and
Nevada.
That's where you're based now, right?
No, Michigan.
Oh, you're in Michigan. Oh shit. Okay. Because you're always in Vegas, like So I've seen you there a few times, obviously working with Rolo and stuff like that. But you're based out of Michigan. What's that like, man? Michigan.
What do you even do there, bro?
I mean, you drink.
I was gonna say,
bro, what do you
because
do
it's
there?
cold as hell. Like, how far are you from Detroit?
A couple hours.
Couple hours. Okay. All right.
Yeah. But that's all you can do, really. Is in the winter I drink, and then in the summer it's great. And I stop
Michigan's a
drinking.
blue state, isn't it?
It is, but there's a lot of red in blue states.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people are awesome in Michigan, especially in the Midwest area.
Of course.
They're all hardworking, kind of blue collar guys.
Of course.
And so most of them hate Democrats. Again, the cities have the vote.
Yeah, the cities have the vote, and not only that, they have the voice. Like what I've noticed is like a lot of these places, right? Even New York, like there's a lot of people think, man, New York is super woke. Not really. Once you leave New York City, like there's a lot of conservative people in upstate, etc. The problem is that Democrats tend to be the loudest, is what I've noticed. They tend to be the loudest, right?
And they have the best and most well-organized lobbying groups. And
Yes.
they utilize youth as part of their lobbying efforts, and conservatives don't do that because when they're 18, 19, 20 years old, they're working.
Yep.
They're working. They're not agitators.
Yeah.
And only during the Trump phenomenon did I actually start really seeing youth agitation, which is great.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
conservatives need more
Back in
youth
2016,
agitation.
you're talking, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, dude, so funny story. When I was in 2016, when he was campaigning, I was in, I had graduated from college, but I went back because he was started campaigning like 2015, 2014. He kind of announced that he was going to do it. And I was still going back and forth. Like I had to go visit my old college friends because they were still in school. I was the oldest of my group, so like I would go back and hang out with them every now and then. And I had like my America Great Again hat. And dude, there was a very good chance that if you wore that hat in Boston in those years, someone would probably try to start a fight with you. Like, and it's even worse now. This is almost a decade ago. Now it's even more woke. So it's just wild. And the thing about Michigan, because I knew it was a blue state, because I looked at the real estate there, because I was like, damn, there's some cheap houses here. I might want to invest. And then I realized, like, oh no, they have like all these squatting laws where like people can literally break into your house and then you can't get them out. And I'm like, what the hell?
A lot of those are local ordinances too, passed by Democrats.
Yeah.
And you see it, especially in the Detroit area. There's heavy ordinances for this for squatters because they have so many abandoned buildings.
Yeah.
Basically, junkies will take the building over, and suddenly, 30 days they have squatting rights.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Wild. Baltimore also suffers from that.
Yeah.
Which, let me guess, but both of them are super blue.
Yeah.
It's like
there's not many major metropolitan areas that aren't blue.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think someone, I forget who mentioned this stat, but they said that all the most dangerous cities in the United States that have the highest crime rates are all blue.
Yeah.
So
Makes
I mean,
sense.
That should be a sign, right?
Yeah.
A lot of emotions.
Yeah.
But Andrew, what was your awakening moment, you would say, to like the truth, reality, and away from this feminist like mindset?
So when I was younger, I didn't really give a shit about anything, man. I mean, California was not a place for grounded ethics. My dad was much. I mean, he was basically out of time. He was a product of the 40s. So he had me when he was older. So I had kind of an ethical foundation, which was out of the time zone I should have been in for the 90s. So I had conflict with people all the time. You know what I mean? I just really didn't understand how to get along very well.
Was he Christian?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very devout.
Strict.
Yep.
Where
very
was your father
devout.
from?
Protestant. He was born and raised California.
In California as well. Okay.
Yep.
So he just saw the slow degradation of the state.
Well,
over time.
he was an entertainer, and he got drafted. And when he got drafted,
For Vietnam?
yeah, yeah,
Oh.
they sent him to Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines.
Okay.
And while he was there, his wife started fucking everybody in town, essentially. So
That's not your mom, right?
no.
Okay.
No. So when he came,
His first wife.
no, his first wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he came back,
Yeah.
he also got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So she took the kids and left him for dead.
Wow.
Right? They gave him a year to live, left him for dead.
Wow.
And-
Right when he got back.
Yeah.
When did he get back?
I don't remember the exact year.
Okay.
Yeah, but basically when he got back, that was his story. She really did a number on him. So anyway, he was basically slated to die. He had to move back in with his parents, and it was a nightmare.
Wow.
And then he met my mom, and my mom was like a disco chick, basically. You know what I mean? But she devoted her entire life to him.
Okay.
It was a blended family, but it worked. And she,
Because he had kids from a prior relationship.
yeah, and she did too.
Okay.
Yeah, she did too, and he did. And she had a rough story too. Her mom was a prostitute in Nevada,
Oh shit.
and she was like mentally handicapped, and she was murdered when my mom was a little girl.
Whoa.
Wow.
And so she was sent down south to live with her parents.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was just like almost miraculous that they met each other. And she was a nurse, and she took care of him and kind of nursed him back to health. He's still alive, even though
Wow.
he had a 1-year toe tag. So yeah,
Wow.
my big awakening moment, I remember, was he was talking, I was partying all the time when I was 18, 19. I remember he sat me down and he was like, listen, I would give anything to be in your normal body. I would give anything on earth to be in your normal body, and you're destroying it for nothing.
Wow.
Like, for what?
Mm-hmm.
That was my kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start taking things a little bit more serious. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
What year was this when he told you this, roughly?
Well, let's see. I was maybe 19. So 21 years ago, roughly.
Holy shit.
That is
Okay.
dark, bro.
Yeah.
Big awakening.
Yeah.